Good morning, my dear students, and a very warm welcome to all of you in this e-learning program. Welcome to Science by Harsha Ma'am. Friends, in our today's session, we are going to complete chapter number 14, which is chemical effects of electric current. Try to recall what we did in our last lecture. In our last lecture, we started with what is electroplating, one of the very important process that is repeated even in class 10. Yes, the electrolytic refining and electroplating, both these concepts are again coming in class 10. So, you need to understand it very thoroughly in class 8 itself as it is given in your book. First of all, we are going to study just now about the process of electroplating. Let us first have a look at what is electroplating. Electroplating, it is the process of depositing a thin layer of any superior metal over the object of any cheaper metal is called electroplating. Yes, electroplating, it is this process in which superior metal of any particular metal, it is its thin layer is deposited on any cheaper metals object. For example, in our last lecture, we studied about the objectives of the electroplating. That is, why is electroplating done? Electroplating is done first of all for the decorative purpose. Yes, on some of the brass items, it is electroplated like flower vase. It is electroplated by gold and silver. Then, to prevent corrosion, for preventing the corrosion of iron, nickel is plated, and on the bathroom fittings, chromium is used because chromium is a hard, scratch resistant material. Then it was like tin and zinc coating. That cannot be done by electroplating. What we have to do, we have to dip them in its solution, or we have to allow the hot roller sheets to pass over them. In this way, we can prevent the corrosion. Generally, gold and silver, they are used for electroplating on the jewelry, and the other metals like chromium, it is used in all the car parts, cycle parts. So this is what we have already discussed. In our today's session, we are going to discuss about the process of electroplating. we have taken two electrodes, one which is to be plated and one on which the plating needs to be done. First of all, the two electrodes, one on which plating is to be done and one which is to be plated, both are washed thoroughly. Then we have to take a beaker and then adjust two electrodes as shown over here so that they do not touch each other. Now what we have to do is connect battery with them. Then connect the battery as we have done over here. What is this now? This is, suppose let us take one example that we are doing electroplating of copper. Then the metal which needs to be plated is connected with anode. So here we will have copper. In the solution also we will take that solution which is to be plated. So any of the salt of copper will do. Let us take an example that we are taking CuSO4. Okay, this is suppose say any other metal on which plating needs to be done. If we add acid to this, then the process will become little bit fast. And this is the copper wire. Okay, this is the diagrammatic view of the electroplating. First, note down this diagram. Then I will explain you the entire process. Okay, and I will also make you write. So, please do not worry and just note down this diagram at your as much as quick as possible. Okay, be quick, note it. Now, let us understand the whole of the process. How is the process of electroplating carried out? First of all, the object which needs to be plated मतलब जिसका इलेक्ट्रोप्लेटिंग करना हो, it is connected with this one. We want to allow copper to get plated. So, you can see over here copper is connected with which terminal of the battery? It is connected with the positive terminal of the battery. So, here the object on which plating needs to be done. Suppose the object on which plating needs to be done is over here and the object which needs to be plated is over here. Okay, that is the copper. Now what is copper connected with? The positive terminal. What is the positive terminal called as? Anode. So, the object which needs to be plated is connected with the positive terminal of the battery, which is anode. Which here it is copper. Next, whatever we want to, on whichever object we need it to get plated, that is connected with the negative terminal of the battery. And what is the negative terminal of the battery called as? Cathode. So, the object on which plating needs to be done is connected with cathode. Here you can say, let us take an example, iron. So, the object on which plating needs to be done is connected with the negative terminal of the battery that is cathode over here. Here it is iron. Then what it is placed in? It is placed in the solution of copper sulfate. So, little bit of acid, as I said, it is also added so that the process happens quickly. So, these electrodes are dipped in the solution of acidified copper sulfate. So, the solution of the solution over here, which needs to be plated. Okay, its solution, in that little bit of acid is added, and in that both the electrodes are dipped. So that is about the basic thing, which diagrammatically we have written. Okay, now what happens? Connect it with the battery and allow the current to flow. Now the process will actually start. This was just the setup. And allow the current to pass through it. What will happen on keeping the battery on allowing the current to pass? First of all, this CuSO4, it will, because it is an electrolyte, it will get split up into the ions Cu plus 2 and SO4 2 minus. So here, over here, splitting of ions of electrolyte will take place. Whichever is the electrolyte, it will get splitted up into the ions. That is the positive Cu plus and SO4 2 minus. Here, ions will be Cu plus 2 and SO4 2 minus. So, first the splitting of the ion will take place. Now this Cu plus 2, because it is a positive terminal, positively charged ion, the positively charged ion will get attracted towards the negatively charged ion, negatively charged terminal of the battery. The Cu plus 2 ion, what is always positive attracted to negative. So here positively charged ion Cu plus 2 will get attracted towards the negative terminal of the battery. Here Cu plus 2 ions get attracted towards cathode and get reduced over there. SO4 to negative ions are also produced. But SO4 to negative ions will not get oxidized at the positive terminal. Okay, this is important point. SO4 reduction of Cu plus 2 is taking place, but oxidation of Cu is taking place in different manner. Okay, this is Cu plus 2 got converted into Cu, its reduction happened. Here SO4 to negative ion will not get oxidized, but it will remain in the solution. but they remain in the solution. So this, now what will happen? The terminal which is connected with the anode, that from there copper will get oxidized. Okay, from this anode also Cu copper, it will get converted into Cu plus 2 ions. So whichever Cu plus 2 are migrating from the solution, they will come back over here in the solution. Okay, see, try to understand, very simple. यहाँ से यहाँ गया तो यहाँ पे एक स्पेस जो खाली आ गए Cu plus 2 की, that will come again back from this particular positive terminal. So over here oxidation of the copper plate which is connected with the anode will happen. Okay, so oxidation of anode will take place. At anode, copper gets oxidized to Cu plus 2 ions, and in this way oxidation happens, and the total amount of Cu plus 2 ion in the solution will not be affected. Remains the same. Okay, so here are the net reactions which are happening. What actually happens is, at anode we know that Cu gets converted into Cu plus 2 electrons. Its oxidation occurs at anode. That means it will give up its 2 electrons and it will become an ion. While at cathode, again, this Cu plus 2 will take 2 electrons and it will get converted into Cu. Here reduction happens. And in this way, the whole of the concept goes on. In this similar way again, the refining is taking place. So this is all about the process of electroplating. Let us first understand once again what is actually happening in this process. This is the copper metal which needs to be plated, and this is the metallic plate on which this is the other metals plate on which plating needs to be done. Let us take an example, it is iron. What we did, जिसका plating करना है उसका solution लेने का, take the solution of the electrolyte which need as an electrolyte, the salt of the metal which needs to be plated. Here it is copper, so we took CuSO4 solution, arranged the whole of the apparatus. That was very much clear when the diagram was explained. Now the process is very important. what happens is, first of all, whenever you turn on the battery, the CuSO4 ions will get split up. Cu plus to and SO4 to negative ions. These are the two ions which you get. From these two ions, Cu plus 2 will migrate towards the negative terminal of the battery, which is cathode. Okay. Once the Cu plus 2 negative ions goes over here, it gets reduced into Cu. SO4 to negative ion, it will not get oxidized. Then from anode, Cu will get converted into Cu plus 2. And total amount of Cu plus 2 in the solution will remain same. This is about the whole of the process. पहले यहाँ से जाते हैं वो यहाँ पे, then फिर यहाँ से वो ऑक्सीडाइज होते हैं. पहले सॉल्ट में से वो यहाँ पे रिड्यूस होते हैं एंड यहाँ पे देन यहाँ पे से यहाँ पे ऑक्सीडाइज होते हैं. This is the very simple process. Now note down the whole of the process very quickly. Please keep in mind this is the most important answer because again it is getting repeated in class 10. So I hope you have noted. Now next. Now next. Okay, the next last slide, please note it down quickly. So I hope you have noted it down. Now friends, once again, whole of the process of electroplating. We started today with what is electroplating. Electroplating is the process in which any superior metal is deposited on any cheaper metal by using electricity. What are the objectives? For decorative purpose, then for preventing the corrosion. These are the two main purposes why we are doing the electroplating. Then coming to the key point, that is today's lecture, how is the electroplating being done? Let us understand once again with the help of this diagram. What actually happens in electroplating? First of all, you need to take two plates, one on which plating needs to be done and the one on which is to be plated, and the one on which here the plate which needs to be plated, it is connected with the positive terminal, that is anode. The plate on which plating needs to be done, it is connected with the negative terminal, that is cathode. Okay, here suppose we want to plate on iron, then it is connected with cathode. Suppose we want to plate copper, then it is connected with anode. It is dipped in the solution, and with the help of thick copper wires and the battery, we are connecting it as shown in the figure. Now what is happening is, allow the electric current to flow. Once the current will flow, what will happen? Once the current starts flowing, CuSO4 will get decomposed. Once the CuSO4 gets decomposed into Cu plus 2 and SO4 to negative ions, again this Cu plus 2 will go over here, migrate towards the cathode because it is the positive terminal, and SO4 to negative ions, they will remain in the solution. They are not going to get oxidized. From here, from the anode, Cu will get converted into Cu plus 2 ions. And this is how slowly all the ions will migrate from copper to, from this anode to cathode. Okay, so this is about the whole of the process of electroplating. Read this, only read once again because this is very important process. Be quick in reading. Next, read this. So I hope the content is now clear. That's all. With this, we finish up with chapter number 14, that is chemical effects of electric current. We'll meet once again with a new chapter, and that's all for today's content. Thank you so much for listening to me, and have a very good day. Bye bye.